actually recording. So again, welcome everyone for in the Southern California chapter for this third and final installment of Communications Mining three-part series, where we have walked through couple of demos as well as the foundation of communications mining, how it works, what are the benefits it can provide, how you can set up data sets, data sources, do analytics, automation. So we had session 2 and session 1 a few weeks ago, and recording is still available. Now we're on session 3 where um, Devi, our speaker, will be covering the last few remaining topics regarding communications mining model training. So first, we will do introduction again and what the chapter that we have for this community, earpad community, model usage and maintenance. So these are one topic that we haven't covered from the previous sessions. Analytics versus automation use cases. What's the difference? How we can use communications mining for both? What are the nuances and demo of model usage? And of course, Q&A at the end. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute. But let's go right in for the introduction first. We are an online and offline community where RPA developers or practitioners or professionals or enthusiasts can come together to meet from time to time for knowledge sharing session about the use cases, about specific UiPath products, and be able to build projects and points together and expand upon each idea. So this is co-hosted to other sessions as well, not just Southern California, in, other community chapters within Americas. So other since this is an online, mainly online community, and the so our main speaker for today, similar to the previous two sessions for this three-part series, is Devi, who's a technical lead for a company, Kabotica, and I am Russell Alfeche in the same company as Devi, and we're both UiPath MVP, along with Pradeep, who's from Peraton, Chief Technologist, and Diana, who's also not here, is the Community Marketing Manager for Americas at UiPath. So that said, I'll give the floor to Devi for this final session around communications mining. And Devi,
Yeah.
for sharing.
Hello, everyone. Can you stop sharing, Russ?
Sure.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. So let's start. So what is capable of communication mining? Communication mining can transform messages which are in unstructured format from different communication channels like emails, tickets, service desk into structured data, whereby it provides the insights and can be used for automations. And we also saw the phases in communication mining. So the initial one is a taxonomy, where we define the labels and entities that suits your business purpose, and then we set up the platform with the data set, and then we start training the model using the discover page, where the platform provides you clusters by means of the NLP language. And from there, you would start training the messages with different training modes available in the explore page. And you will start refining the model further and improve its performance. And then once the model has reached a good performance rating, you would use that in the production. So the today's session will mainly focus on model usage and the maintenance, and also how we could apply to the analytics as well as automation use cases. Let's quickly jump to the platform. So this is a communication mining platform where the initial landing page would have the data sets here. So once you start upload the messages to the platform into the data set, the initial discover page will have 30 clusters created based on the NLP. Using the NLP, it identifies the messages which shares the similar content, and it also provides you suggestions on which label that it could be applied for that particular message. And based on that, you can apply label individually or to the bulk, and you can start training the model. And as when you go further, you need to focus more on improving the model performance. So to do so, you would make use of the various training models available in the platform itself for both labels and entities, and then start training the improve the performance. So there are recommendations provided by the platform for each of the label to improve its performance. So you can use that, leverage that to improve the model rating. So as you move further, so you would know when to stop training the model. So when the model reaches a good rating and all of these performance factors are with good uh, rating, and none of the labels have red dial indicators, then that means your model is good to deploy for production purpose. And in such scenario, UiPath does not save every version of the model because of space requirement. So if you want to use that particular model version for any of your use cases, then you need to go to the models sec page and pin that particular model. So once you pin the model will be saved and it is available for your use for any use cases that you want to deploy. And pinning that model will also ensure that that particular version will be available for you, and the rating which you have freezed will be available for each of the labels that you have that it has already predicted. And you can also tag the pinned version to either live or staging based on the environment that you are going to use that particular model version. And if at any point of time you want to delete that pinned version, you can also do so by clicking on this delete icon. Sometimes you also need to roll back the model version. If you see that the annotated messages has to be reverted back, you can also do so by clicking on this icon. So this would reset all the training data or the annotations that is made to this version of the model. And you can use the model version available here for the production purpose. Parallelly, you can also train the model further to improve its rating based on the performance that you see in the production. So once you figure out that you got a better performing model, then you can pin that particular version of the model by going to this page and then use that for your use cases. And it is also essential that as you go over time, we need to provide feedback to the platform just in case you think that the model is not performing or predicting the labels correctly, or if there is no prediction for a particular label or for the particular message. So in that scenario, you can always provide feedback via stream by setting up the exceptions, which is an user defined property. And you can, once you set that as an exception, it is available as a filter here. I can show one such message, which is already I have tagged as exception. And I have set that as a no prediction exception. So when you filter that, you could see that message here. And you can use, you can label the correct, you can apply the correct label here by coming back to the platform so that the model would learn further and improve its performance. And to maintain the model, there is one more thing that we need to do post deployment to production is balancing the data set. It is one of the performance factor that decides the model rating. So as when days goes by, and if you're uploading more messages to the platform, and the platform and the model is getting used to the production data, there could be a chance that you would be out of date, or the data set or the model which is trained could be out of date, and it is not adapting to the changes that is currently happening in the business. So in such scenario, you have to go to the explore page and choose the rebalance mode, and filter out the let me clear this. Okay. And filter out by the recent timestamp, so that you would get the messages that is most recently or in the recent months that is added to the data set, and you can train or apply or review the messages, so by which the model would get a balanced training, and it would improve the similarity score, and it would maintain the rating of the model. So these are some steps that we need to take care once we deploy the model app to the production. So that is the exception training, and then using rebalance mode. And the output of the UI communication mining can be applied to either analytics use case or to an automation use case. So in case of analytics use case, the typically we would be having more extensive taxonomy with more number of labels, and it would need a broad range of topics or coverage based on the use case. And some of the sample use cases that could be handled in this would be opportunity discovery, or to understand the customer feedback, or their sentiment, or the voice of the customer. For automation use cases, we usually go for smaller taxonomies, and we would need higher pinned examples for each of the labels, so that we would maximize the accuracy of the model rating as well as minimize the exceptions. So a couple of example use cases for automations could be the auto routing, and then query management. So for analytics use case, it is okay to have a model rating with a good uh, performance. But for automation use case, you need an excellent model rating, so that you would minimize the exceptions that would be happening in the downstream applications that you would be posting this. So for analytics purpose, the communication mining provides you an extensive report page where you can um, see the complete insights as well as the statistics of the labels, that volume trend, as well as the statistics for the metadata that is connected with the message. So in label summary page, you would have the label tree map, where it would start with the parent label, and if you click on it, it will drill down to the child label. So it would provide you the percentage view of messages distributed across this each label. And it would also provide you various charts by means of volume, as well as quality of service and tone. So in trends page, you would see the trending volume by month, week, or by day. And you can also see the label trend, tone trend, and the quality of service trend. In segments page, you could view the trend by the metadata that is related to the message, which could be the sender domain, signature, or the sender organization. And these charts would help you to figure out uh, or drill down the more specific vendors and filter out by the particular label to figure out their statistics. So you can always filter out each of these pages by means of the timestamp which is available in the left hand side, or you can also filter out by the metadata that is available along with the message. You can also filter out by means of the general fields or by the label fields which is available in the data set. There is also a label filter available at the top, so you can use that to select to filter out by specific labels, or you can combine multiple labels and apply changes. And by applying this, you could see the report pages or getting filtered by means of that particular label. They do have a dashboard page at the start where it provides a default dashboard which would have these cards for your use, but you can also create your custom dashboard, where I have created a new dashboard which is a custom dashboard, which is cards added from the other pages available in the report. So I added some from the leaf labels and some from the message trends, and placed it here. You can always resize the chart to any size at desired. You can rename the title. You can filter out each chart by means of the filters available, and you can also apply global filters which is available here. And then if if it is not required, you can also remove the card for which is not required. And the filtered data can also be exported. For example, if I go to this label summary page and if I want to export the result that I got, you can do so by clicking on this download icon present here. So clicking on that will get you a CSV file which would contain the count of labels by each hierarchy. So by leveraging this chart and the custom dashboard, you can provide the required insights to the business, and you can take further actions based on that. UiPath also provides an autopilot feature here where you can search by the text that you want to filter, and the filter would automatically get applied to the available data set. I'm clearing the filters right now, so I'm going to search by the address change in August 2022. So by doing so, when I click enter, you see that the custom range got a date added to the timestamp, and the address fields got filtered out, and the labels also got filtered to provide you the ones that is more important that we needed is the address change. So by doing this, we can minimize the work by using this autopilot feature available. And we also have the quality of service and the tone analysis, which you can set during creation of data set or after creation of data set by coming back to the settings page. So what is a tone analysis? So tone analysis would provides you the emotional tone which is expressed in the message, and the quality of service would provides you the complete intent of the message and the tone of the customer who is providing that message. So in case of high profile or high risk customers, it is really essential to enable the track the quality of score and the tone, and to identify the areas that which needs improvement, so that we could provide training to our users to improve the performance further in addressing their needs. And once you enable this quality of service and tone analysis, you can add the pre-trained labels available in the platform. So these are the pre-trained quality of service available in the platform. So you can add these labels. And once you add these labels, it would get added to the taxonomy, and it would start predicting the messages and apply those labels. And each of these labels always have a QoS impact property assigned to it. For example, I'm going to the urgent label, where you see the QoS quality of service impact for this one is -5. So based on this, it would assign a score if it identifies that particular label to the message, and combined with the tone score, it would come up with the final QoS for that particular message. You can also filter out by the QoS score from here. I'm just clearing out the filters. So there are filters available for the QoS score and tone score, as these are applied to every message in the data set. And you can also make use of the drop down here to sort out messages by the QoS score from high to low or from low to high. So you see that this message is having very negative, very high negative QoS score. So that means they need immediate attention, this particular sender. So you can always go back to the reports page to identify the trend of this QoS across various sender domains, and you can address their concerns accordingly. So in the segments page, you would see the quality of service trend by the sender domain and also by the sender organization. So by which you could identify who's at high risk, or which customer needs more attention, and you can address their concerns. You can also set up alerts in the platform when you think, for when there is an drop in QoS score. To set up alerts, you have to go to the alert center. So the alert center has two pages, issues as well as alerts. So when you set up an alert, and if that condition is met, then an issue would be raised in the platform. And these issues could be tracked directly in this page. And once the issue is fixed, then you could click on this resolve issue, so that the issue would be closed. So to create an alert, you have to come to the alerts page, and there was two possible types of alerts that you could create. One is volume based, and another one is quality of service based. Let me check on one of the alert that is already created. So you see there is a title for the alert, and there is a subscribed user who would receive an email in case an issue is created for this particular alert, and the data set for which the alert has to be created. And if there is any label filter that you want to apply, you could do so by choosing that particular label in the data set. And you could set the trigger when there is an volume change or when there is an change in average quality of service. So you can choose the volume when you want to monitor if there is any unusual things happening or errors or exceptions or any unusual labels that you want to monitor. You can do so by choosing by filtering out that particular label and choosing the volume in this drop down and setting the filter as greater than or equal to particular value that you want to monitor. So for this use case, I am setting the average quality of service as my alert type, and I have set this alert to be triggered just in case if it falls below -4. And this one is set to create an alert if the volume of this particular label is greater than or equal to 5 for the period of last 12 hours. So whenever this condition is met in the platform, you would see a issue gets created, and it would also send out an email to the subscribed user saying an issue was created. So this would trigger you alert and helps you to monitor in real time if there is any change in volume or if there is any drop in quality of service. And you can always go back to this platform to identify the uh, statistics and verify that, and then get back to your users and train them more on the areas that needs to be addressed. So this is how we have completed analytics and the monitoring. Now let's go to the automation use case design. So a typical automation use case could be monitoring a mailbox, interpreting their messages, and then identifying the type of email. And based on the type identified, move to the respective workflow queues. So to do that on the communication mining platform, with the communication mining platform, you can use the Exchange integration to monitor the mailbox. You can create the data set then, and then train the model. Once the model is trained, you could start using that model to make predictions for the uh, incoming new messages. And based on the predictions, you could redirect that to the corresponding workflow queues. And if you figure out any exceptions happening because of any wrong predictions or no predictions, you could always tag those messages by means of metadata properties and go back to the model and then train them back. So these are typical steps that we would be following in case of automation use cases. So the first step would be creating a project which would provide you a permissioned storage area for your use case, and you would assign users which would restrict their permission across various areas in the platform. And then you would establish the Exchange integration and add the mailbox. So once you establish the integration, then a bucket would be created in the platform to store the messages that is coming in the mailbox, and a source needs to be created associated with the bucket that is already created during the Exchange integration. And after creation of the source, you need to create the data set with the source, and then and then you need to define the taxonomy which suits your business need, and then you start training the model in the platform. So once the model reaches the good rating, then you would pin the model version and then start using it. Streams or concept which would get provide you or facilitate you to get queue of messages from the platform, and it would help you in real time use cases, or either it could be an analytics or automation use case to retrieve the items in real time based on the predictions that is available. And then you need to set the label threshold for each of the labels. And we use the fetch and advance loop to move through the streams, and then we process the result. I'm going back to the platform here. So we are going to the streams page. So to create a new stream, you need at least one pinned model version. I'm going to edit this one to show how it is created. So this has a title of insurance stream and it has an API name. And I have tagged it with the model version 21, which is already pinned. And I have set up a threshold level for each of the labels in the taxonomy. So why is it needed? Setting up a threshold would decide whether this label needs to be outputted from the stream or not for that particular message. For example, I have set up this threshold to 26.3. So if the message contains the label with confidence less than 26.3, then that label prediction will not be out by the stream. So to force the prediction, you need to have a threshold value, or you need to have set up the threshold value accordingly. The platform also provides you suggestion with the precision and recall metrics to decide on what threshold that you need to set for this particular label. And there is no hard fast rule. It is always dependent on the use case that you are working on and also the purpose of the label. So what is the precision? Precision is nothing but proportion of the predictions that were actually correct, while recall is the proportions of all true positives that are identified. So by dragging this slider, it would give you a view of the percentage change in the precisions and recall. So we should have in mind that while deciding the threshold value, like what if this label is incorrectly applied to the message, or if the label is missed to apply. So based on that, we should decide the threshold level for each label. By default, it will be having 100 percentage. So that would mean that the stream will not return any predictions for that label. So you have to set up a value less than 100 so that the stream would return predictions for that label above the threshold value. And whenever there is a change in model and you want to upgrade the stream to the model version, you can always edit the stream and come back here and select the new model version here. Okay, so now we have the stream set up to be used for our automation use case or the analytics use case as needed. UiPath provides you a framework to make use of this communication mining um, stream activities and use that in your automation use cases. So this framework contains a package, which is UiPath Communication Mining Activities package, and it has activities related to streams and creating records with the communication mining platform. The framework is a state machine where it has an initialization part where you can configure any app related initialization, and it has the config read part as init all settings thing. And in the get communication part, it would fetch the stream messages. In the process communication part, it would process each of the message received from the stream, and the end process will not have anything. And I would show you the config Excel, where we first need to set up the project name with which you want to connect, and then the data set with which you have created the stream, the name of the stream, and there is a flag run continuously. So if you need that this dispatcher should continuously poll the stream, then this it should be set to true. If it is false, then there won't be no. If the process finds that there are no more messages, it would stop processing further. The poll time provides you the interval if you have set this run continuously as true. And for the demo purpose, I have created three queues. One is a generic queue where any default communication messages received from the platform is categorized to this queue. While I have another queue which is a payment queue. So I will push any messages which is identified or labeled as non-payment, and the third queue which would have communication messages that is of urgent label. I have set up these queues in the orchestrator. All these queues are set up here in the orchestrator. It's generic queue, payment queue, and the priority queue. So I'm going back to the code to show how it happens. So when the get communication state, if you go into that, you would see a fetch stream workflow. It would start retrieve the messages from the stream based on the config values that we have already provided. So the project name, data set, and the stream name is used to fetch the messages from the stream. And once the messages are fetched, then it would be processed in batches. In the process communication, the first workflow is get destination queue. So this is where you can configure or place all your business rules on how to direct or where to direct each of the message based on the predictions made for the message by the platform. So in my demo for non-payment label, I am pushing that to the payment queue. For urgent label, I am pushing that to the priority queue. And any messages which does not falls under these two categories are pushed to the generic queue. The type of the message which we received from the stream is stream result. It provides you functions to identify whether the prediction contains that particular label. If it contains that particular label, you can also retrieve that particular label extraction details and identify whether it has exceeded the confidence threshold that is set up in the stream. So based on these factors, I am filtering out the messages coming from the platform and push that to the queue, and I'm setting the destination queue based on that. So for example, this one for the urgent label. So I'm checking whether that particular prediction has the urgent one. If yes, I'm getting the label extraction details, and based on the from the extraction details, I am checking the occurrence confidence whether it has exceeded the threshold set up in the stream. If yes, I am pushing that, I'm setting that destination queue as priority one. So those messages that doesn't falls under these two categories are pushed to the generic queue. So by setting up the destination queue name as a generic one. We could also extract the generic field values in the platform. I will show you later based on that. Now, when you set up the destination queue, then the next point is creating the queue item. So that is happening in this workflow.
Sorry, Debbie, just a quick question. So for those that um, doesn't meet the confidence threshold from the it's configured on the stream, right? Um, does it get pushed back to the data source instead of the orchestrator queue just for training purposes or no?
Yeah, I will show that how to handle the exceptions. I will show that.
Oh, okay.
So in the create queue item, if we are, as we have already set up the destination queue, the default framework has converted the communication message into serialized JSON format, and then serialized string, and then pushed it to the queue item. And once it is pushed to the queue, it is available for your downstream automation to process further. And this is an advanced stream where it would um, pu- ne- push to the next batch. Now, this one is getting the value for generic fields. So general fields are nothing but the entities which were formerly called. Now, because of the recent update, it is got renamed. And these general fields can also be retrieved by means of the functions available. So first we need to check whether it contains that particular general field. So I'm checking whether it has the policy number or not. If yes, then I am retrieving its value here by calling the get general fields function and writing it in the log message as a generic field function value formatted one. So just in case if you figure out that if there is no prediction for that model, for that message, and you want to push that as an exception, or if you think that the message has a wrong predicted label, you can handle that in the exception flow. For the demo purpose, I have added it here. So I'm just invoking an API endpoint, and this endpoint would have the project name, stream name, project name, dataset name, stream name, and the exceptions as the URL. And you need to pass a JSON body, which would have a which should be having the metadata as a key and the type as a key. And within that, you need to provide whether it is a wrong prediction or no prediction, and then UID of the message which you received from the dataset. So once you invoke this endpoint with these parameters, the stream would send that as an exception back to the dataset, and it would get updated and it would be available as filter, as I shown before in the explore page, where you can filter out messages that were meant for exceptions, and you can correct the label or you can apply the right label there, so thereby the model start learning further. And to do so, I have placed a condition here. So where I am checking whether if the current message has any prediction which has exceeded the threshold set up in stream. So if there is no such message, then it would fall under this exception flow. And there would be times where you might need to revisit the messages that is already processed, where in case you have improved the model rating and you want to reprocess those messages, at that time you would need to reset the stream, because the stream would already advanced and it would not move back. So you need to reset the stream back to place where you want to reprocess again. To do so, there is an endpoint available in the API where you should define the project name, data set, and then the stream name, and then a reset. Within that, you need to pass a JSON value, which should be to command created at and the timestamp. So this timestamp is not the timestamp of the message. It is the timestamp when you have uploaded that particular message or the comment to the platform. So once you have defined the dispatcher as per your business need, you could see the items got added to the queues, and I can show you the queue item on how it looks like. So the stream result type would have the complete details of the message along with the predictions for each of the labels and taxonomies. So you see here, it starts with a comment, it has an ID, it has a message tag. Within the message tag, it would have the body, from, send, at, source ID, the complete metadata of the message, and also any user properties that you have added. And then it would have the taxonomies defined for the labels that is predicted. So based on that, it would provide you the result. So for this one, it has identified the label name quote with occurrence confidence and the threshold it sees that it has exceeded the stream level. And it also provides you any general fields available as a prediction for this particular message. If not, it would be blank. So by making use of this dispatcher template, you could redirect all the messages as per your business need to different work queues, and then utilize that for your underlying automations. And we do have a feedback loop in case of exceptions to go back to the platform again and revisit those exception messages and provide correct labels so that the platform could learn from it.
So, quick question, Debbie. So, once valid prediction, let's say non-payment, right?
Mhm.
And it would require the bot to look at the email and also especially the attachment. Is there a way how would the bot be able to access attachment? Does it have access to the metadata of the full email or
Yes, it has access to the complete metadata of the email, and there is an one second. Let me check. It's not this project. Let me go back to that project. So there is a get attachment activity. You can use that by passing the attachment ID retrieved from there from the original message, and then call this to download the attachment.
attachment ID? So only if you when you upload the data source, you should have the attachment ID.
Not via CSV file. If you have the Exchange
Oh,
configuration set up, then you could use this, leverage this one.
okay. But if it's CSV file, you have no way to get the attachment. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
So you should need to pass the attachment reference value here. So there are different ways where you can upload the messages to the platform, either by CSV format to the data source, or by means of Exchange integration, or you can use APIs endpoints to upload the messages, or you can use CLI commands to invoke the um, each of the operations. Similarly,
Oh,
for downloading the data set, you can download it in the CSV from format from the Explore page, or to have real-time predictions, then you have to use streams. There are also API endpoints to export the complete data set, or if you want a prediction-based endpoint, that is also available in the platform.
sorry, David. Just to clarify on the usage of streams, which is mainly for automation, right? So once you have the
Mhm,
model, you can pin the model and create streams so that you can use it for automation.
mhm.
Um, so is it for both existing data sources from that's already in communications mining to stream those, and also for new emails incoming, let's say for the automation, right? It your input comes from the mailbox, right? The new emails. You're not really interested in existing emails that you loaded, but you are monitoring or triaging new emails. Um, what's the use case that you that for that you need to look at existing emails already in communications mining?
So for automation use cases, you can use streams so that you could retrieve messages without assigned labels. So you could have that as a prediction, completely predicted one based on the available model rating. So you could use that for the live integration.
Oh, for the live integration. But what if you have like just uploaded a CSV to train a model, and then you just want to have a model that can predict, um, and you feed in new email via the automation workflow. Let's say you use for each email in Outlook. Is there any way you can feed incoming emails from Outlook from the workflow into the streams?
You can feed the can download the messages in the CSV format and upload to the platform as a data source. So this uses the integration service available in the connected with the orchestrator in the platform, and for each email, it would retrieve the email metadata, and based on that, it would create a CSV file, and this CSV file could be uploaded as the data source in the platform. If you go to the sources page, you can create a new source, or you can, if you want, add the CSV source data to any existing source, you can do so by uploading the CSV file here.
Okay. So I guess my question is around, so once you have uploaded data source and then have the initial model ready for production with a good score,
Mm-hmm.
and you want it to use for your automation
Mm-hmm.
for new emails, can you feed those new emails and have the model predict it using your automation workflow? Is that also through
Yes,
streams?
yes, yes, you can do that. Yes. So the stream does not differentiate whether it is live integration or uploaded CSV file source. It just starts predicting the message that is coming to the data set from the date when the stream was set up.
Okay, so which activity do you use to feed, uh, let's say you fetch a new email, you monitor the mailbox? Is it the put stream or
No, the fetch all stream, you see, let me go back to the dispatcher. Put stream is mainly for exceptions we use.
exception?
Yeah,
Or is it get results from stream?
yes, get
So
results
you,
from stream. But this would get you results only for the messages that were uploaded after creation of stream, and this stream point will move forward. So if you want to reset the stream at any point of time, you can do so using the endpoint which is available here. So there is a reset endpoint available for stream so that you could reset that to any date where you want to, from which you want to get the messages.
but I guess my question is, let's say a typical automation, right? Looks at
Mm-hmm,
the mailbox for new email,
mm-hmm,
and I fetch a new email. I want to predict that email what label it is.
mm-hmm.
So I'm not I don't want I don't want to get existing messages from from the stream that I uploaded previously. I want
Mm-hmm.
to predict from new emails that I fetch from the workflow.
Yes, in that case, you need to reset the stream to from where it needs to start. So, for example, you have uploaded the messages today in the morning. Then you need to reset the state uh, to yesterday or to earlier date than from today morning, so that it would start fetching the messages from that particular point of time for the and then provide you the predictions for that.
Okay. Okay. I think we're almost on top of the hour. Any if there's still any question, there's still any have anything to cover, Denny?
No, that's all from the demo.
Great, great. Yeah, this is really helpful. For anyone who has any questions or or anything regarding this final session that we have, otherwise feel free to reach out to us. I can point my LinkedIn if you'd like to reach out after this call or anything related to the session or anything about your iPath, and also yeah, let because we have upcoming sessions as well. So since we've completed communications mining, now we'll be doing discovery series session for task mining and process mining, which is also a very interesting topic. So yeah, thank you for your engagement. Unless there's any questions, there be any last messages before we end the call and anything to impart to everyone?
Yeah, so we have these upcoming sessions. So please do register and attend these sessions to get enlightened on task mining and process mining.
Yep. So do you have the link where they can register? Probably we can provide the link. Or if you are in the chapter, feel free to register. It's already published. And yeah, again, thank you so much, Debbie, for the successful session. I know there's lots of information, but it for me it also definitely help me understand communications mining and have a successful implementation with our customers. Feel free to watch the other previous session 1 and session 2, where we walk through some of the other basic stuff, loading data source and all those. For communications mining, it's available in the chapter portal. Great. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, then see you again on our next session regarding discovery series for task mining and process mining. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day. Thanks, Abby, again.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.